What's going on, guys and girls? This is Zombie Static, back from the dead, and you guys are watching the very first episode of my brand new single-player Minecraft Let's Play series. Bit of a mouthful, but hopefully it should be a lot of fun. So we're going to get started nice and quickly. We have the brand new fresh world, which we're just going to creatively call LP World, and as you can see, we're using no seed whatsoever. We're just going to take whatever we get. I tend to be pretty lucky with my worlds though, so chances are pretty damn good we're going to get something nice. Hopefully not something too nice though, because I do want to do a little bit of exploring to find somewhere to hunker down, because I've got a lot I want to talk to you guys about, so I figure I'll talk on the way. And this looks like a pretty decent sort of starting spot. Lots and lots of wood around. Can't really see anything, like I can't see where I want to go just thanks to all the trees. Looks like some higher ground over there, so I might go towards that and see if I can get a lay of the land. And we'll get some wood and some stone and whatever else along the way. You guys know how the drill works by now. I don't need to go through how to survive your first day in Minecraft. If you are that new though, welcome to Minecraft. Anyway, but before I get started on the Let's Play, I did really want to quickly want to thank pretty much anyone who's watching this and was subscribed to me before this big break. You guys are absolute bloody legends. Like, seriously, the fact that after pretty much a year, maybe even more, of inactivity, you guys have come back and you're watching the first episode of an LP series. It's just phenomenal. I don't know how you guys do it or why you guys do it really, but you know, never going to question a good thing. So yeah, like I said, thank you so much for watching this. I can't even tell you how much it means to me, and I know that sounds really cliche, but I really do mean it. So yeah, sincerely thank you, and let me know in the comments down below if you are an old-time subscriber. So whether you are an old person or whether you were subscribed since back in the day. Yeah, let me know in the comments down below. Don't know what I'll do with that information. Like, it'd be nice to reward you guys somehow, but honestly don't know how. But if nothing else, it'd be nice for my curiosity just to see all the old loyal subscribers. So yeah, let me know if you are an old-time subscriber, and like what was the first thing you remember from the channel. Just yeah, that'll be nice and nostalgic for me as well. We're already losing hunger, so I should some stone down there, so we'll get some of that stone and kill those piggies we saw before. Alright, so like I said, I do have a lot that I want to talk to you guys about on the way to wherever we decide to set up. And yeah, before we get started, I guess I should say I'm not really looking for anything in particular. I figure I'll know it when I see it. You know, I have specific types of like landform and stuff I like to build on and around. So yeah, we'll see what we can see. But so yeah, like I was saying, I do have a lot I want to talk to you guys about on the way to wherever that is, and pretty much what it comes down to is I feel like, especially for those of you who are watching this first episode after having been subscribed for so long and with so much inactivity, I kind of feel the need to let you guys know where I've been, why I've been gone, and you know, all that kind of jazz. Now, before I get started, I do want to just warn you that this might come across sounding kind of whingy, just because that's the kind of the topic or subject matter that I've got to talk about, because it has been not a crappy time. It's been mixed. A lot of good's come out of it as well, but there have been a lot of crappy moments. So yeah, it might come across as a bit of a tuber whinge, but I don't want it to come across that way at all. I should get a furnace while I'm here as well. Yeah, I don't want. I'm not saying this stuff out of a an attempt to get sympathy, or you know, because I feel like a bit bad, or you know, anything like that. I don't feel like I did anything wrong, but at the same time, like, I do respect you guys, and I do appreciate you coming and watching my videos. So I do feel like I should explain where I've been, and also why I've been so quiet. Why I haven't really. That actually looks really cool over there. That landscape. So I think that's where we're going to head. Didn't grab those pigs, but we'll find some food along the way, I'm sure of it. So yeah, without further ado, I guess we'll get started. So, those of you who were subscribed to me before what I'm going to call the break, which is my period of inactivity, which is really a few breaks with a couple of episodes spread out in between. So yeah, for those of you who were subscribed to me before that, you know that towards the lead up of the break, my my uploading was pretty irregular as it was, pretty sporadic, and that there were a lot of reasons for that, most of which I'm not going to get into now. But suffice to say, it was a combination of lag. So crappy internet, crappy computer, and basically just a case of the tuber blues as well. So, like I said, I don't want to really get too much into that side of things, because those are all pre-existing issues. There's more than I can go into in the one episode. I might discuss things like the tuber blues in like later episodes, because I know that there will be a lot of you guys going through the same thing, and there's actually, I know for a fact there's a lot of YouTubers at the moment going through the same sort of thing, and just, you know, putting on a brave face. They're not letting people know. You can sort of just tell. You can hear it in the way people commentate, the kind of things that they talk about, the way that they interact with their viewers, all of that kind of jazz. It's hard to spot from the outside, but once you've gone through it, you can spot it from a mile off. You know, as they say, it takes one to know one. But yeah, so there was all of that sort of stuff in the background as it was. And then on top of that, because I was losing interest a little bit in, actually I only need one piece of coal in there. Yeah, I was a little bit losing interest in like just being a Minecrafting channel, you know, because I never started this channel with the intention of becoming like a big or like semi-big Minecraft channel. I think I'm almost at 50k. Probably might have actually hit 50k by the time I upload this, but after I upload this, I'm going to say I'll be below 50k. It tends to be the way after these breaks. You do lose some subs whenever you upload videos, which is kind of weird, but whatever. Yeah, I never intended for my channel to become a bigger sort of gaming channel, or bigger Minecraft channel. It was initially just a personal channel. You know, I used it to watch YouTube videos and that kind of thing, and I was a gamer. Like, first and foremost, that's who I was, and I saw, I think it was Etho, probably, my first Minecraft Let's Play. Just that idea of, like, Etho came from being very much the same kind of person as I am, so very quiet, very reserved, more cerebral, just, yeah, a bit more of a stage shy kind of person. And he started his Let's Play, had no real intentions of it, or no expectations of it becoming popular, and it just skyrocketed. And the awesome feedback. This looks really cool. I'm liking this area so far. Might have a little bit of explore around, see what else we can find. I'd like to get full iron gear by the end of this episode as well. So my first upload wasn't really an episode, but my first upload was just of some derpy little zombie trap that I'd made in a single player world. You know, I found a zombie spawner, and at that point zombies dropped feathers, and I wanted to make a machine for collecting the feathers from them, and for getting a little bit of entertainment as well. You can click this link to see that video if you'd like to. Yeah, like I said, derpy little video, but like with Etho's first video, it did get quite... The positive response surprised me, I'll say that much. It got a much better response than I was expecting. And just from there, like the interacting with people, with my viewers in the comments, and with other YouTubers, and getting that feedback, I got hooked on it, to be honest. Now we're gonna pretty quickly need to find somewhere to sleep for the night, I think. Haven't really seen the sheep. Okay, that's what we need. Yeah, so the channel sort of took off, and Minecraft videos were easy to do. My computer couldn't really handle recording and playing games like Counter-Strike, which were my bread and butter at the time. I actually started off as a first-person shooter player, not a open world sandbox player, I guess you'd call this game. Now, this is going to get dark pretty quickly, so I'm going to light this up for you guys. Like so. We'll block ourselves in, make a little bit of room, and place down a bed. So yeah, like I said, I couldn't really record and play the games that I was mostly playing at the time, but I also got hooked on Minecraft. I'd played the game for hours and hours and hours a night or a day. I'd actually use Minecraft to procrastinate from my university homework, and so it was convenient to record on, or record in, and so that... Why can't I place the bed down there? So yeah, that's sort of how my channel took off, and it very quickly became, or I very quickly became known as a Minecraft channel. And yeah, I didn't really want that to be the perception of my channel. I wanted it to be a gaming channel. So round about this time, when I was experiencing all these issues just before the break, I decided that I was going to start branching out and playing other games. So you might recall I was trying to start a Portal series at one point. Tried Mirror's Edge for a bit, and a couple of other games. Nothing really sort of spiked my interest. And then my brother, who is actually the one who got me into Minecraft, suggested I play League of Legends. Now, I know that a lot of you guys watching this are probably pretty big fans of League of Legends, and I knew at the time that the game was, really popular, and it still is actually. Quite a technical game, so I figured I'd be able to do tutorials and stuff on it. Well, oh, we'll take the mushroom. That could be handy later on. That kind of made me lose my train of thought. Yeah, so bit of a technical game, so I figured I'd be able to do tutorials and stuff on it. I could do gameplay. I could do, sky was the limit. It seemed like it'd be a good fit for my channel. So set about downloading the game, since it is a free game. Installed it in my computer, and it came up with this error. Oh, awesome, a village. That's what I've been looking for. So I think we're gonna go over and see what we've got in the way of villages, and protect those guys if they need it. Yeah, so I installed the game, and it came up with this error saying it was missing a DLL. And asked my brother what the issue was. He had no clue whatsoever. He hadn't come across the issue. And so I... mind you, this was after I'd... like I said, I was experiencing those issues, the crappy computer and the crappy internet, and I decided that I was going to purchase myself a solid-state drive as like a mini upgrade, since I wasn't able... That's a lot of flowers. Yeah, since I wasn't able to afford the full upgrade that I wanted for my computer, I wanted to buy like a $3,000 beast at the time. I thought, can't afford it, might as well buy just a solid state drive, beef up the computer a little bit that way, and hopefully get rid of some of the computer lag sort of issues and record games a little bit better. So I was doing that, and pretty much I wiped my computer, right? So I was starting more or less from scratch, and that's when I decided to install League of Legends. And so it's coming up with this error. Little did I know that this DLL error was because I didn't have DirectX installed, since, like I said, I had just freshly wiped my computer, but I didn't know that. And so like I googled, being the noob that I am, I googled this DLL just to see if there was any way I could sort it out. The first link looked like a pretty credible link to a download site for this DLL. Came complete with instructions and everything for installing it. Yeah, you guys are probably cringing at the moment listening to this story, knowing where this is headed. That DLL, or supposed DLL, turned out to be a worm. Turned out to be a really, really bad virus. And my computer got to the point where it would not even boot. The thing was, like, not only would it not boot, it wouldn't even get to the BIOS, the section where you can go into your DOS or whatever, and like tweak the settings, like which disks it's booting from and all that. Wouldn't even get into that. It was dead. And the virus actually spread to my 2 terabyte external hard drive as well. Now this thing, the external hard drive, was basically my YouTube channel. It had all of my footage, all of my episodes, all of my my fonts, my graphics, my skins, my texture packs, my worlds, everything. Like literally everything that made my channel what it was, aside from me and Minecraft, was gone. And that kind of tipped me over the edge. Like I said, I was already pretty sporadic with my uploading. That sealed the deal. In case you're wondering why I'm collecting all this wood, I think we're going to make a fence around these guys before night time. We've still got half the day. We did the same thing in the second take of this first episode, so feels kind of right. And I've got plenty of mountains around to check out. Well, one to check out once we're done here as well, so we can get another lay of the land, see if we can find somewhere worth building. So yeah, stopped recording, and figured I was just going to give it a break for a little while, simmer down. Yeah, we'll hunker up in this one. Simmer down, let the rage settle, and of course repair my computer, right? Because, like I said, thing was rooted. I can't really hear myself think with these villagers hurrying around, but we'll make do. I need sticks. Alright, that should be good to get us started. So yeah, like I said, I figured I'd take a little bit of a break. My computer was out of order, so there was nothing really much I could do. And so yeah, I started focusing on... So before all this happened, I was a uni student. Still, I guess, in a way, kind of am, but as I mentioned earlier, I was using my YouTube channel as like a way to procrastinate and get out of the way, sheepy, and not do my uni homework. Uni had then sort of finished at around about this point. I'd graduated, and so at this point I was working a little bit, like just casually. I was still receiving welfare from the government, and I didn't want to do that anymore. I felt really unproductive, receiving all this help from the government and only working a couple of days a week here and there. But you know, why didn't that break? Weird. But yeah, so my goal was obviously to try and get some psych related work, as that's, you know, what I was studying, or get into a PhD. And most work was just gonna detract from that and make that harder. So I was very resistant to that for a while. But you know, when this happened, I decided, well, you know, I've been giving my channel a go for a while. I've been taking some time off, working on that, mostly just doing that and my little bit of work here and there. I couldn't afford the computer I wanted. My current computer was now rooted, so figured it was time to knuckle down, get serious, and you know, I figured if I start working, then I can pay for, you know, my own flash new computer and get started that way, right? So I was on Seek, which is a job search website here in Australia, and found quite a good job. Actually, it was a full-time job. Well, it seemed like a good job, I should say. Full-time job at a local gym as a membership consultant. So basically my job was to go around and try and convince people to come in for a short-term membership, which we would then try and upsell into a full membership. So the job came complete with training, and it was like a few weeks paid training. The training was so much fun, a lot of fun. Like they made the job sound like it was going to be, you know, absolutely awesome. The bosses it was just a really fun work environment, and the bosses were really understanding. You know, they knew that you know, not everyone wants to buy their particular gym membership, and not everyone even wants a gym membership. So, you know, we're just in the business of making people healthy, and, you know, getting people to, you know, basically just, it was going to be a fun workplace, and if you got sales, awesome, you know, you got a commission. Turned out, nope, that wasn't the case. They had very sort of strict ideas for what they wanted their sales people, or their membership. Where was I? I think it was over here. What they wanted their membership consultants to achieve. I was on my six week training period. Got to the end of that 6 week, trial period. Got to the end of that, and what had basically been happening is that I'd be getting sent out by the more experienced people at the place, at the gym, to go and generate leads. So, you know, getting the people to come in for those trial memberships, and getting their numbers and their details, that kind of thing. And then the leads would then be handed off to the more experienced people, right? And I completely understood that, or, you know, I thought I did. I figure, well, you know, these leads are pretty few and far between. They're hard to come by. It takes a lot of hard work. And at the end of the day, this is a sale for these guys. You know, this is a sale for their business. It's quite a lot of money we're talking about here. So that's completely fine. When they're sort of ready for me to start doing my my appointments, my interviews, I'll start doing them, and I'll start making my sales. No problem. Get to the end of this 6 month period. Oh, sorry, six week period. Only to have them tell me, look, you know, we were expecting more. We were expecting you to actually achieve something. So sorry, you don't have a job anymore. More or less. In fact, it was actually halfway through one of my shifts that they told me this. So like I thought I was going to be there working for the full day, and got an impromptu day off, which, you know, bit of a mixed blessing. So while I was working at this job, I was basically, I'd gone from working maybe 1 or 2 days a week, like I said. So on the weekends at my my paintball job, which, as you guys who have been subscribed for a while probably know, I'm a paintball referee, and have been for years now. Couldn't bring myself to leave that job because we need more wood, because you know, it was something that I was familiar with. I'd been doing it for maybe 3 or 4 years. And so, like, going from, you know, 2 days a week, casual sort of work in a job that I knew really well, into 5 days a week, 9 to 5 job that I had no real idea what I was doing. It was pretty daunting. So I figured, at least if I keep my job at the paintball, I've got that familiarity to fall back on as like a bit of a stress relief, and it's quite a fun job as well, as you might imagine. And then as well, you know, if shit hits the fan at the new job, well, that's okay. I can go back to paintball. What this essentially meant, though, was that a lot of weeks I was actually working 7-day weeks, 7-day work weeks. You know, I was working Monday to Friday at my full-time job, which I hated, and then I was working Saturday and Sunday at my weekend job, which, you know, great job, but I was exhausted, as obviously you could imagine. And so then that was stressful enough in itself, which sort of coupled with the stress of the computer and the pre-existing stress that I talked about before, YouTube just seemed like more of a stress than fun. You know, I want to be doing my channel because I enjoy it, not because I feel like I have to. And because of all that stress, it felt like an obligation more than having fun. So I stayed away. You know, I figured that's okay. When I get to the when I get used to the job, I'll head back and start working there again. Start uploading again. No problem. As you know, didn't work out. Job got canned, and then I'm back from working 7 days a week to now working the 2 days a week. Not even that, really, because it sort of got pretty quiet. I was essentially working no days a week and was now unemployed, more or less. So again, pretty crappy feeling. You know, it just heaped on the stress, but never fear. You know, just got to get back on that horse. So I had to go and start looking for another job. Friend of mine from uni actually suggested, or practically gave me a job. She, you know, wasn't a manager or anything where she was working, but the managers were, you know, our sort of age, our sort of people, really nice people, really easygoing. She suggested to them that they should give me an interview. I dropped in my resume. She suggested I should go for an interview, and so I did. Got the job. They didn't even have to advertise it or anything. So I guess I sort of saved them a little bit of money as well, or we saved them a little bit of money as well. But so yeah, I got that job, no fuss whatsoever. So it was a job at a petrol station, which in itself, like, it's not exactly the most prestigious job. You know, it's not really held in that high regard. Like, you mention to people, oh, I work at a service station or a petrol station, and they look at you kind of weird. It's almost like a job for, like, lower class people, you know, like, I mean, I'm not a racist person myself, but, like, racist people would then say, you know, that's a job for minorities, right? So, you know, people, in that respect, it was pretty demoralizing because people sort of looked down on it. But I mean, that was nothing I couldn't handle. But then it's night shift work. So, you know, I work, most of the time I work midnight till 6 a.m. So, you know, right there, I got to flip my sleeping pattern, because, as you guys are probably pretty well aware, I like to spend time with my friends, as does everybody. I like to spend time with... Actually, why am I doing that? I need sticks first. I like to spend time with, you know, human beings, and actually feel like a human being myself. You know, see the sun every once in a while. So on my days off, I would... you know, I'd try and flip my sleeping pattern, stay awake during the day, and then you know, when I was working, I'd obviously have to stay awake during the night. Oh, hey, dude. It's kind of weird having you breathe over my neck. So yeah, that in itself took a lot of getting used to, just having a town meeting. Having to flip my sleeping pattern like that, and having to get used to working when I sort of or my body was telling me I should be sleeping. I pretty much felt like a zombie almost constantly, and even to some extent still do. You feel very, very jet lagged is sort of the best way I can describe it. And yeah, really did not have a sleeping pattern to speak of. But again, I told myself, look, once I get used to this job, once I get used to the pressures, all good. I'll start recording, start uploading again. Now, again, this job was pretty much working more or less 7 days a week. So, you know, that in itself was quite tough. But it's casual work, so that the roster's never really sort of guaranteed. You know, it changes all the time. You know, some weeks I was working, you know, 3 days a week. Other days I'd be working the full, like, 6 or 7 days a week. I need an axe real quick. This isn't my house. So, like I said, I was working a lot of days, and the days were constantly shifting. Oh, damn it, where are those zombies? Cool, alright, saved him from the invasion. Or did we? Where the heck are you guys coming from? Get out of the way. Swear I just had the villager open the door on me, or close the door or something. So I'll just kill this spider, and that should be the village safe. So I think we're really going to need to light this place up once we do finally get it all fenced in. But so yeah, like I was saying, I was working quite a few days at the job. The shifts would keep shifting, and so it was very, very, very tough to get a hang of the work. And like at the moment, for example, I'm actually working 9 days in a row. So I work a day shift, then I work 7 night shifts in a row, then I work another day shift, and then I've got 4 days off. Right, so I don't have a week. I've got a fortnight. So as you can imagine, pretty sort of tough to get used to, get the hang of. But I did get there. I did get there in the end, and I was ready to start recording. But you know, the powers that be, or the universe, or whatever, was not ready to let me start recording. Basically, my grandpa had been, and for those of you who, again, have been with the channel for a long time, and if you were lucky enough to catch the video where I showed my face, you would know that my grandpa was suffering for a long time from a little bit of cancer in the back, in his spine. It was, I don't know if it's actually in his spine, but I know it was in his back. And it was nothing he couldn't handle. It didn't seem to bother him too much, you know. Like, I mean, he had a little bit of pain here and there, but you know, other than that, nothing too serious. And you know that he was the kind of guy that, you know, he'd survived a heart attack, he'd survived strokes, he'd survived, you know, a war or two. You know, he'd been through a lot, and he just seemed like the kind of guy that, you know, nothing was going to hold him down. He was so full of life. So, I mean, he was old. Don't get me wrong. He was not, you know, bouncing off the walls and, you know, running around doing parkour and that kind of junk. You know, he was an older guy, no doubt about it. But you know, he was just the kind of guy that you know, I expected him to at least be around to see my kids, maybe even their kids. You know, he was just that kind of guy. You just expected him to live on forever. But we got the news, I think it was probably the end of last year, that that the cancer had actually spread from his back to his brain, and in the space of about a week, he went from being the same lively guy to basically being just like a shell of and again, cliched, I know, but he was just a shell, you know, like there'd be brief glimpses of Grandpa, like of who he was, but you know, they were so few and far between, and in between these, yeah, just sandwiched in between him not seeming like himself. Like it's hard to explain. I can't even really put it into words, but it's just like he wasn't there, you know. And so it was hard to tell, like, you know, even if he did seem like he was there, it's hard to tell if he actually was. He wasn't the same guy, and then he was gone. It was like really that quick. And you know, when you say to people that, you know, your grandparents have died or your grandpa's died, it's almost like it's to be expected, you know, because everyone's going to die. We're all going to die at some stage, except me, of course. But like, it's hard to explain like how integral he was to like my family, because my family is extremely small. My family, I do have, you know, extended sort of relatives, so like my uncles, aunties, I got family on my dad's side, so I got family scattered around, but pretty much the people that I consider my family, it was, you know, me, mum, my baby brother, my little brother, and my grandparents. That's pretty much it. And my mum, growing up, when I was growing up, she was a single mum, and so my grandparents ended up doing a lot of the babysitting. So they in a lot of ways they raised me. Dude, stop looking over my shoulder. All I'm doing is making fences. You want some? No? Okay. Yeah, so in a lot of ways, my grandparents did raise me. I mean, not entirely, but they were a large part of my life, and so to lose Grandpa, and especially him being the first family member that I've ever actually lost, it really hit home, and it was just, on top of everything else, it was just, no, I was done. At least for the time being, I did not even want to see my computer. I didn't, for a long time, for months there, I did not even sit at my computer. And my setup's actually quite nice at the moment. So, like, the fact that it went to waste, it's just, you know, it sucked, but I just wasn't in the right frame of mind to be recording. And so, yeah, I took a break, and that fence isn't going to match up, so we're going to have to go around. So, yeah, obviously there was a lot on my mind, and, you know, the break was understandable, but, you know, time went on, you know, got sort of used to the idea, got used to everything, you know, it just all sort of seemed to fit into place. And you know, I still wasn't in the best of moods, but I missed YouTube, and like that might be one thing. Like, you guys might think that because I don't have any sticks anymore, do I? Dang it. Because I haven't been uploading, you guys might think it's like a case of out of sight, out of mind. Like, you know, because I haven't been uploading, I didn't care about my YouTube channel at all, haven't really been thinking about it, but couldn't be further from the truth. The entire time I've been taking this break, my YouTube channel's been on my mind. I've been thinking about, you know, where I went wrong, what was causing my bad mindset, I guess, around YouTube and around Minecraft and around games in general. Just, you know, gaming, for some reason, something had sucked the fun out of it, and it gave me a lot of time to think about that, and to think about like what I want out of my channel, and like what I want to do with it, and like how I want to run it, the kind of, you know, games I want to play, the kind of videos, everything. It gave me a lot of time to think about stuff. So In some respects, the break was a really good thing, and it's really sort of stoked my desire to get back into it. I am, still a little bit hesitant to sit down and record just because it's been so long, and I've gotten pretty rusty, and the stage fright's sort of creeped up again, which I got over that at one point. Not entirely. I don't think you ever really get over that completely. But yeah, it's sort of come back in a big way. So that's been keeping me from recording as well. But I really missed it, and so I figured it was time to get back into it. And so that was when I recorded my my first episode back, which, like I said, I'll probably link that in the description if you want to check that out. That was on the Hermitcraft server. So I felt really bad that I hadn't been uploading on there terribly often, so I thought best to jump in there and just get stuck straight into it. Yeah, like that. That'll do. So yeah, I jumped onto Hermitcraft, recorded maybe half an episode, got off to take a bit of a break, and then I noticed in Skype the guys on the Hermitcraft server were talking about changing the whitelist. Now, I can't quite remember why. I think maybe someone had accidentally given out the IP in their stream or something like that. But yeah, they were redoing the whitelist. And if you want it on, just message Izuma, let him know, and he'd chuck you on the whitelist. So I sent him a message in Skype. It had been the first time I'd spoken to him in a long time. So I wrote out pretty much what I've told you guys now, where I've been, why I've been gone, all that kind of stuff. And that, I was like, what I was planning on doing, that I was planning on getting back into recording, and I wanted to start on Hermitcraft, and I had all these plans. Only to have Izuma basically tell me, no, not on Hermitcraft anymore. And like, I can understand where he's coming from completely. I wasn't around very much, and for someone running a server, which I'm pretty sure Izuma's sort of taken the lead on Hermitcraft, he obviously had to take that into consideration. Now I think these guys are pretty well protected now. I do want to make a couple of fence gate entry and exit points, and then we'll light it up, and then I think we'll move on for now. See if we can spot a base somewhere. Yeah, so it completely understandable, but at the same time really disappointing, because I was actually, a lot of people don't know this, but I was actually one of the first members on Hermitcraft. Me, Generic B, pretty sure Corrales, Kirshar, and a couple others were the ones who started it. Generic B, of course, the one who masterminded the whole thing from the start. But I was one of the first. But yeah, so long story short, I understood Izuma's decision. I didn't necessarily agree with it, but I understood it, and I was happy to move on. And in some respects, I'm kind of glad that he made the decision he did, because I think I sort of need to work on my single-player gameplay first, get my chops up myself, get my skills up again, rather than going on and relying on other people or mooching off other people. So yeah, in a way, I'm definitely glad that he made that decision. But at the same time, it was a real kick in the teeth, because like, as I mentioned, I'd just gone through all this period of stress and loss and whatever else, finally worked up the courage, or the determination, I guess, not really courageous, but the determination to get back on, start recording, only to have it shoved in my face. So, that, again, kept me off recording for quite a while. Dang it, need more torches, and I'm out of coal, so we're going to go get some coal. Yeah, so, took quite a bit of a break, and plenty of good stuff came out of the break, plenty of other good stuff, aside from just being able to think about my channel. Like I mentioned, I was working quite a bit. I can't remember where this... Dang it, there's the exit. I was working quite a bit, so I built up quite a bit of tax, and because I'd been a low-income earner for most of the year, you know, like not working all that much, I got most of my tax back. Most of the tax that I paid, I got it all back, and that was beautiful. That was, you know, I was finally gonna get rewarded, I guess, for the hard work that I'd put in. I was gonna get my new computer, everything was going to get back up and running. It was going to be beautiful. You know, I was going to be able to build my mini beast, which I have, and I'm playing on it at the moment. So yeah, let me know for sure if there's any improvement in quality. If you do remember the old videos, I feel like it's playing a lot more smoothly. But yeah, so I built my mini beast, and one of the things I was going to do when I built my beast, a friend of mine wanted my computer, or wanted to borrow my computer so that she could, she had a laptop at the time, but the laptop was ancient and it wasn't, you know, it was barely able to support Word. So I thought, you know, I'll lend her my computer. But I wanted the hard drive that was in it, because I was pretty sure I'd put a 3 terabyte hard drive in that computer, and the new computer that I just bought came with a 2 terabyte hard drive. So when I built the mini beast, I thought, all right, I started transferring it, transferring stuff over. But then I thought, you know, if I've got the computer open anyway, why transfer it? Why not just, you know, take one hard drive out, switch computers, and switch the hard drives around, and, you know, save myself hours and hours of transferring data. So I did that. She took my old computer. I started using my new computer, only to find out that the world that I'd been recording my second attempt at this episode on was on that hard drive that I'd just given her. And yeah, she'd formatted it, so that world also was gone. So basically I'd gone through all this time, all this trauma, all this building up of my not resilience, but, you know, building up the nerve to start uploading again, and it fizzled out yet again. I was a little bit despondent for a while, and then I was watching the footage back. I figured I'd edit it up, and you know, I could get some experience or some practice editing that way. Watching the footage back, I noticed at one point I pressed F3, right? And so I got really excited, thinking, beauty, you know, I can get the seed. I didn't, you know, hadn't done that much work anyway, so I can load the world up again, get back to where I was off camera, salvage the footage, and we're good to go. Nope. As you guys can see, and probably already know better than me, F3 no longer shows the seed. You've now got to like type /seed, I'm pretty sure, so might as well just do that now, just in case. And so there you guys go, you have this breathtaking world seed. Haven't made you wait 10 episodes like I used to, so you're welcome. But yeah, so realised wasn't going to be able to salvage the episode, and that pretty much takes us to where we are today. So I'm pretty sure I've covered everything I needed to say based on or regards where I've been. I'm pretty sure that covers a lot. So yeah. Now you guys are all up to speed. Like I said, it might come across sounding like a little bit of a whinge. Don't want it to come across that way at all. But yeah, now that that's out of the way, I've got that off my chest, I feel like we can get into the series proper. So I reckon we're going to have a sleep, and see what we can do with these villagers here, see if we can get any good trades out of them. And I think that might actually be it for today's episode. A bit of a depressing one, I guess, but next episode will be a lot more fun, a lot more enjoyable. And if I do go on a rant, I'll pick a bit of a nicer topic next time. I think maybe either where I plan on going with the channel, where I plan on going with this series, or I don't know, maybe something like what I like about YouTube. You know, counteract the tuber blues, the crappy sides of things. Or you know, if you guys want to ask me a question at all, leave your questions down in the comments below. With I don't know, like hashtags don't work on YouTube, I don't think, so we won't do that. But just I don't know, Q&A. So yeah, start it with the tag Q&A, and then have your question, and then I might answer a bunch of those in the next episode. So if you want to ask, you know, about my work, about where I was, if I didn't explain something too well and you want clarification, I don't know, if whatever it is, whatever is on your little mind, whatever you want to ask me, go ahead, and I might answer it. We'll see. But for now, I think I think I want to protect these guys. So we just got a bunch of torches. So I think I'm going to light up the village. So continue lighting on the fences. I'll also light around the place. I don't like having a whole heap of torches on the ground, but I don't really know how else to stop these crappy zombie invasions. Don't know if that's going to be enough torches, so we'll get a ton more going. That should be heaps. And yeah, we'll get to spamming.
Be ready, I'm coming for you! Always within, instead of without. So much so, we have forgotten all about you. If we were to be sure, we had to save the doubt. But now you know, there is a plan in place to pierce through the veil and absolve you. You buried their heart, buried the soul. You buried your guilt and you refused to atone. Make peace within, emanates without. So much so, they could never force a coercion upon you. If you're ever unsure, beyond reasonable doubt, oh, you know, we will be here to embrace you as we emancipate you. You buried their heart, buried the soul. You buried your guilt and you refused to atone.
Alright, so I think that's the town pretty well lit up. Be nice if we could get somewhere nice and high and keep an eye on them. But I guess we'll just sort of run around, see if we can spot any more dark spots, like this one over here. Tried to sort of light up along all the paths and on all the buildings. I tried not to go too overboard with the torches, but yeah, doesn't really look like it worked too well. But I think as time goes on, we might work on the city a little bit and work on the lighting, get it a little bit more safe, but still looking, well, get it looking nicer and still lit up. But yeah, I think that's probably going to be it for today, guys. So thank you again very, very much for watching. Like I said earlier, I can't even tell you how much it means to me, even if you're a new subscriber, or especially if you're a new subscriber as well. Thanks heaps for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, I'll see you in the next episode.
Be ready, I'm coming for you. We are always with